Hey there, I'm JB and welcome to Dutchland. In today's episode we of course going to continue working on to the mega city, and I'm very excited for that because I had a lot of thoughts about it. But before doing that, I would like to show you a new mod that I have been downloading. Now this mod is one of these kinds of things that you wish you knew before you started a new city. This mod is called Traffic Lights Enhancement, and this makes it look like the real deal. As you can see already, these people here are waiting before they can cross over, and meanwhile they do it right now. The cars are all waiting. Now of course we still get the silly traffic jam icon. This doesn't especially mean that it's bad, it's just a traffic jam. But as you can see, while these cars are gonna go straight, any of the other cars are waiting. But this solves a lot of traffic issues because I have noticed with certain things, look at this is beautiful, just perfect. But like I wanted to say, I've noticed while cars are gonna go that way, or some of these cars want to go this way, and this takes care for a traffic jam, besides the whole fact that people are crossing meanwhile the cars are going, which just makes one heck of a mess out of the whole situation. Now I do want to say, the first time you have downloaded this mod, you actually have to go to the option, because by default, if you find the mod into this big list, it will have it on auto, which detects your Windows language maybe or whatever. In my case, it's set it to Dutch, while my game is on English, so you have to put it on English or any language you want. Also, I have to say there is a default option. I did click on split facing and I did click on exclusive pedestrian phase, which basically this option down here take care that the people will wait for the turns until a full rotation with the cars has happened. Now of course there are a couple of other things that I wish would happen. But maybe I need to figure out the mod for a little bit, because figuring certain things out of mods isn't really my strongest thing. Just like this whole priorities tools, I cannot use it right now for some reason. But once you click on this traffic light and you click on an intersection, you're gonna get a whole list of options. I do believe by default it's on vanilla, or it is by default once you have messed around with the traffic lane connector, which you can use along with this mod, but then it's by default. If you haven't messed with the lane management, it's a vanilla. Now the only thing I find a shame is that there isn't really a little bit of explanation once you hover your mouse on it. With certain other mods it will show like a little explanation. But I do believe split facing is once only one lane goes, or one side goes and nothing else. And advanced split facing is basically what we've seen before, which, for an example, once these guys gonna go left and right, then these guys only go right down here. I believe that is the way how it is. Yeah, this mod is just so amazing because it's so much more realistic, and I don't feel any annoyance with these people waiting. Now of course it could be even more advanced than this, because in the Netherlands, for an example, once these guys go straight and would like to turn in here, in some cases the pedestrians are also crossing, and the reason for that is because there is not many that go in here. So why would this one always need to wait while the situation isn't too dangerous to let both go at the same time? It's just a rule that if there is someone walking, you just stop for a second, the person cross, and then you're allowed to drive. But that is a very advanced type of deal. But in this case, this mod is amazing. I really freaking love it. And yeah, there are still certain situations where traffic definitely needs to be improved. For example, right down here we got a lot of messing around. We will eventually solve this whole show, because this whole neighborhood right down here needs to be gone. But in this case, enough about that. I want to work on the city. I have been thinking what I would like to do, and I've also been thinking about Amsterdam, like how are highways going through the city, near the city, and all that good stuff. Because eventually what we want to do is create a ring highway. Or better to say, we want this highway to go this way, go around like that, and go back. Something like that, and of course we split things up here and there. Now another thing I've been saying in the last episode or the one before that is that I wanted to split up another part here and let that part go all the way here. I'm not going to do that because that kind of feels like I'm trying to prevent traffic issues, while that is not a really realistic thing on how to build a city. So we will continue this way all the way down here, and I've been thinking that we should build a ginormous harbor right down there. But first things first, the traffic is very calmly down here, which is super duper nice. And I kind of also noticed another thing, which I am going to change right away. Because we have like traffic lights here, and I feel like there is not much traffic gonna go that way though. So with other words, I'm going to make a... Oh man, I wish I could do priority stuff, right? Remove traffic lights before modifying. Okay. Now, here's the whole problem. I tried to look for a video that explains how this stuff works. I couldn't figure out any video just yet. But unlike the mod I talked about before, this one does have explanation. So yeah, higher priority. So the priority is gonna be this one, right? These guys will only give way to trams. These guys, it says, give way to other traffic coming from roads with a higher priority. So these guys will have to wait for these guys. That is basically what it explains, right? I think that would be a good one to do. This one, there's no need to mess around with that one. So I think I understand it correctly right now. Alright, so the one thing that I would like to do is create a couple of low rent housing in this section, which is going to be very good because yeah, we're going to create a little bit of industry here, so these people can go to the industry. These people have like the shopping malls and any other things that we are building down there. I don't really feel the need to actually build a whole park out of it. However, I am going to place down a park right down in here. Here we have it, a tiny city park. The fountain surrounded by hedges, flowers, allows visitors to take a break from the busy life of the moment. This fits just perfectly in here, which also doesn't touch the edges of that side. So let's just drop it down here, and then people will be happy with that. Now also on this side, I want to create a larger version of low rent housing. And you know what? I'm adding in a parking lot down here. Now I do wish there was an option that says apply pricing to all parking lots, or maybe per district. This is something that I found very handy in Roller Coaster Tycoon, where you had these toilets. You could set the pricing to all the toilets so you don't have to, you know, change everything all the time. And so this is also filled in, and I am pretty happy with it. I got a feeling I get the hang of this more and more, also with placing trees, but just placing more random kinds of trees rather than just one type of trees. And also not be afraid to leave a little bit of, you know, like grass here and there, because that is also a realistic thing. And it's often very easy to just fill everything in with trees and bushes and whatnot. And I'm really happy with how this area turns out. And for some reason, there's a ginormous traffic jam going on down here. Okay, why are you walking? We did not talk about that. It does says exclusive. Not sure what that is all about. Wow, okay. That's surprising. You know, maybe this has something to do with seasonal flow. You know, honest, in City Skylines 1, the whole water type of deal was so much more easier. You don't have all of this messing around like things. You could just have a constant flow. If anyone can explain it me better, just, you know, let me know if you know. And down here, I'm having the same dumb freaking thing going on. I hate it so much. What is especially going on with this freaking part down here? Let's get rid of this, because you know it's ruined my gameplay a lot. Didn't have this dumb problem in my first season. Look at all of the traffic. It's complete crap because of that one little piece there. Now, of course, this water flow could also be reduced by the fact that in the last episode I did build a second one of these guys. So that could be a problem, or the problem of, you know, causing the water to be the way how it is. Alright, we have a fire. And that is really bad, which also in this case, it might be time that we do something about that. Alright, so this case, a fire station and a police station down here. I think it's the perfect spot for this, since they can go here immediately or go here immediately, and the rest of the whole show down here it will be a lot of harbor. So the most traffic is in this area, and it's good, a central spot. Alright, and yeah, things start to look good. I really love this tiny little thing down here. Once again, leave a little bit of grass so kids can actually play some soccer around here. Not too close, not too open, because there's also things safety. Now, of course, there is a police station down here, but often when things are very cramped up, not a lot of overview, people, you know, feel very unsafe. So that's why it's also a good idea to not cram everything up. Of course, you can create like little patches like this where there is a lot of trees and things going on. It's like that, a little bit of light in it. This is beautiful. This is absolutely perfect. Now, I did notice that once again, traffic. But I think I also know why. Because this is very long. And the thing is, certain people go here, certain other people need to go here. What happens with here and here is that all of the people will not get enough time to pass through in order to split up where they need to go, right? Now, most of these guys are going to go here, but the more we start building here, more people will go that way. Or with other words being said, I mean, we need to make this into a 3-laner. Now, I do wish maybe that is yeah, okay, we can. So we do this. Now we have a choice. I just rather pause it and just redo the whole show. Now we can have a split up. So all of these people that need to go here and here don't have to wait in the same line, which take care that it starts flowing a lot more. And I'm only not sure each time if I have to really, you know, update stuff. But let's see how it goes over time. There you see, these 4 people are out of line of this one. And some that were still in this line needs to be recalculated, so always keep that in mind. And of course also an industrial area right down here near the neighborhood, which is once again not a really weird thing to see. It is very an old type of idea though, and I can remember it perfectly for my old town. You had like this, let me just do it like this, you had like a road like this and then a road like that, and against this road there were housing, and behind it was a canal, and then you had like a ginormous, let me just also do it like that, had like a ginormous some kind of a warehouse type of idea, and behind the warehouse type of idea had like a what looked like a very big parking lot type of deal. And you live here, you look straight onto the back of like a warehouse type of deal. But yeah, you see that kind of things in the Netherlands at parts that are not up to date, to say. It is the next day for me. I've been spending yesterday about 3-4 hours in a time span of 6 hours in order to make the highway and to give myself some thoughts on how am I going to make it all look like. It was not very easy, but in the end I'm happy with the end result, and let me just show you and explain you all about it. So first of all, we have a clover leaf ish right down here, and yes, this is not a perfect circle. That is also because the fact that if I want to make this a perfect circle, it would be way larger, and then this would be way larger. And this is something that I did not want to do. Now I had to move the bridge up because the bridge first was kind of like this, and then I decided, you know, let's do it like this, which in the end is also way more logic compared with the river. I still kept in mind the old style of how things were way back in the day. So basically what I mean is we had our bridge down here before. It is still down here like before, or better to say, we moved the bridge up a little bit. This is, for example, the old road. They made a new road down here, and later on they demolished the bridge so the traffic wasn't interrupted while replacing an old bridge for a new bridge. This is still a part of the old road that back in the days went into this road. Now, because, you know, future come, more traffic come, highways come, we needed to do something else. Now this street was already here, this was already here, so they decided, you know, we want to make the on and off ramp into this main road, and then the road that is getting used way lesser right now, we're going to tunnel it up into this street down here, and then, you know, some people that are going to go here can go into this place via this road, and or the part where there was this old road right down here, let's make a footpath, or else people have to go all the way around in order to get here, right? That seemed to be a little logic. We have a farm here. Now way back in the days there was a farm here too, and this part actually got bought by the government because they needed to make an on and off ramp. But also there's also another reason that this plot here is empty. We might go into that a little later on. Now this is the way how I actually connected things up. Yes, it might look a little bit funky, but I had to do it like this because the thing is, if I would just make this road straight underneath here, have one connected up that way and one connected up that way, that means that the traffic will interrupt each other constantly, and that is something that I want to avoid. Now right down here I had a little bit of an issue connecting things up, but I think in the end it is okay. You can kind of see like there's a little dent here, and trust me, I have tried and tried and tried, but yeah, apparently there is no avoiding that. You know, it is what it is. I also had some other thoughts. So since we're going to change this area anyways into something completely different and more take it easy, which the half of this is going to change into a forest area, and I want to make like a small start of the town down here, not as huge, not as large and anything else. I want to make like low residential housing in here, and that's going to be it, which means that the traffic here will reduce by 70%. I'm not going to continue the highway in here and then connect it up to this highway down here. You can also see the intersection is going to be way too close onto each other. What I would like to do is use this old road somehow, some way. I'm going to need to figure out how am I going to do it, because right now like a piece of a mountain in the way, and of course the highway, but in the end this little road here is going to be connected up to something right down here with a bridge, so only a couple of people might go that way, and I hope that most of these folks here then will use the highway to get where they need. I'm going to see how that is going to work out, but I think that is a good idea. Now one of the things that I wanted to do in this episode, which was at the beginning somewhere, is I wanted to unlock some of these tiles. And then I actually wanted to do something with trains. Now for the trains I also have a plan, but apparently first I have to just, you know, dump this thing down. Basically just like City Skylines 1, you have to plop down one road to get another road. I wanted to build like a mini tiny little train station here. This is going to be a pass-through train station, or with other words, this train station might end up or going into town here, or might end up going first into this part of the town, goes around, and then wherever it needs to be, right? But we have a situation here, because I want to have the train also going to that town eventually, and that is where this part is coming in. And I really like the idea of having still a piece of the old road here, and then yeah, they first built a new road and a new bridge, then they demolished the old stuff and just leave something here as a reminder of back in the days. Alright, I managed to put a road down here. I don't have any support underneath here, which is a little bit silly, and or making a piece of train track here that has been, let's say, forgotten, which is the old track, is also not possible without the complaint of, hey, it is not connected up. So we're not going to do that. I don't have any plop train track, but I think I can still make something out of this area. It's going to look very old and overgrown. Plop down some containers and some construction stuff, and you know, maybe fence it up. Just do something with it. But I think this is very nice. However, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to make this train track go, you know, into town. I want to make like a small train station here so everyone can use that. And at some point, I want to make this area a little bit, take it easy. I also think I'm going to redo the forest a little bit because I feel like it's way too dense. But this town here is going to look amazing. It really feels good. It feels logical. It feels like I'm playing around with the past and the future. And I'm definitely going to keep my eye out on Plop and things that do not complain, because it would be so ideal to have like a piece of old train track right down here for some reason, you know, to just show it like here, hey, it's an old part. But for now, this will do. It looks very nice, looks logic. And yeah, with that being said, I can't wait for the next episode, because we are definitely going to build a lot of stuff right in here and make something pretty cool out of it. Alright, and with also that being said, between this episode and next episode, I am going to do a little bit of camera work, and I'll probably end up also making some stuff already right down here, as well as down here, as well as down here, and whatever I can do.